Brackets is another text editor which you might want to give a go for writing your HTML. Now you can go to brackets.io and download the latest version of Brackets. You can also explore the page. There's not a whole lot here, but you can explore the page to learn a little bit about Brackets and what it does, and also getting at popular extensions. So let's assume you have downloaded Brackets. We will hide. And before we open Brackets, it's a good idea. Matter of fact, it's not a good idea. It's crucial. It's mandatory that you should create a folder for each of your projects. A folder, this will represent the root level for your HTML page or your HTML project. Okay, so I'm going to create a folder on my on my desktop. I'll call this exercise example, and inside I have a folder labeled images, which is where I will place all of the images which I use with this particular project. Okay, let's go ahead and close. We will now open Brackets. And more than likely what you are going to see if you are just opening Brackets for the first time is the Getting Started index.html. And this is sort of an overview, or as they state, getting started with Brackets. So you might want to read through this page. There's some useful information. When you are ready to start working, all you need to do is you can go to Getting Started, and you can open a folder. And in this case, we are going to open our folder which we created. This is our start or our root level folder for our project. So we will open. And now you will see your images. Okay, so the next thing we will do is go to File, New. And right down here in the lower right corner, we're just going to make sure that we have UTF-8 set for our encoding, that the next area is set to HTML because we're going to make an HTML document. And then you can set the amount of spaces, okay, for tab, okay? So you can change this, or you can just do spaces 2, tab size 4, however you want, however much space you want for when you start indenting your code. Okay, I'm going to go with 2 spaces. Again, we have an HTML page. We are in UTF-8, and we will now save. I'm going to save this as index.html, and we are going to save inside of our root level the exercise example folder. So we will save. Okay, and you will note over on this side that you will see your images folder, you will see your index, and so you're going to see what's inside the folder, and then what you'll see up here is the current working document, the one that you are currently working on. Now, if you like, you can go here and you can have a vertical split, or you could change this to a horizontal split, depending on, do you want one file up here, one file down here? That's really up to you. And then whichever one you're clicking on is the one that has the focus. All right, so I'm going to go back and click on index to make sure this has the focus, and I'll go back to no split. And then we have our configure working set. Okay, so I tend not to really worry about this too much. All right. Now, before we go any further, you can go over here and go to the extension manager, and you can start looking through available extensions which will add further features to Brackets. Okay, so maybe you do a search for some different plugins, Or maybe you look online or you check out some YouTube videos and get a sense for what are the most popular extensions, and then install those again to create whatever feature set you want. All right. Now, you'll note that we start off with 1. So we're just having our lines of code numbered, and brackets is pretty simple. So you have to actually, there's probably an extension that will create the initial HTML outline. Otherwise, you're responsible for creating your own. So let's just do doc type HTML like so, and then we'll go ahead and close our HTML. Okay. Then we'll drop down to our next line. Actually, I opened the doc type. I forgot we should do HTML. I got carried away with thinking this was where our HTML element opening. All right, so we have our HTML. Let's now open the head of the document. So now that I have started this correctly, Dreamweaver, I'm used to Dreamweaver. Brackets will do an autocomplete for us. So inside the head of the document, we will start off with our meta. And this is going to be our character set. And this will equal UTF-8. So inside the quote marks, we'll do UTF-8. And let's go ahead and end our meta. Our meta is an open element. Then we will have our title. And of course, every page should have a clear, meaningful title. And now after the head of the document, we will create the body of our document. And we will go ahead and file and save. And we should be ready to start writing our HTML and CSS for our projects. Okay. Now, what you're going to have to do is link your CSS, and you will have to link your JavaScript files if you are using JavaScript files. But at this point, you're definitely going to link your CSS. We'll do that next.